Okay, so why do you write these books?
To express myself.
Why do you want to express yourself?
I think there's more than one reason. I think I have a few valid ideas that other people want to hear. There's also it helps me connect to people. You know, if I express something I believe and then someone else also believes that, that's a connection that's formed. Also, it's just satisfying to think of a story, write it out, and then publish it. You know, the process of just creating something, just making something exist that came completely from your mind. That's a really satisfying thing to do.
And so you do that for satisfaction?
Well, there were the two other reasons I said beforehand. There's also, I think some of my beliefs that I express in my books are worth hearing. And there's also that if someone else also has a belief that I express in one of my stories, that's a connection that's formed.
What do you mean?
Well, if I think something and someone else thinks something, and we've never interacted before, yet we think the same way about things, it it means we think similarly, at least in that regard.
Are you talking about you and your readers?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you talking about when you say connection between you and your reader?
Huh.
I'm still circling the central question of why and why and why.
I know. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. I mean, I guess it's just pretty universal desire to just step outside of yourself and create something bigger than yourself. So if several people read my book or books and they're impacted by them, that's something I've done which is bigger than me.
So what's of all the things that you stated, what is the bottom line reason why you're writing?
Self-expression.
But why?
Huh. Not sure.
Because you don't have the right to express yourself.
I don't?
No.
Why not?
You express yourself anyway.
Yeah.
Even without writing.
Yeah. But by writing, it well, I wouldn't sit down and just talk about a whole story that's like 200 pages long. And I probably wouldn't, if I did, which it's certainly possible, I probably wouldn't phrase it that well. And I'd probably be all over the place, not talking in order of events. So, also, I'm not going to talk to that many people who would care to listen to me, but when it comes to books, I think that reach is far more wide-reaching.
So the number of readers is important to you.
Yeah.
And you like to increase that number as many as possible.
Yeah.
And why is that interesting to you?
I mean, I guess the main reason it's a sense of accomplishment. It makes me feel like I've done something right, and that it's a good thing that I did that. that I impacted several people.
Okay, so so finish writing the book is not accomplishment enough.
Yeah,
You need
because if it's just mine and it's with me, then what was the point in writing it if no one else is going to get to see it?
okay. So if your readership is 1,000 instead of 100, would you feel happier, more accomplished?
Yeah. I just I guess expressing myself to more people just feels better.
Okay.
Yeah.
If your readership reached 10,000, does that make you feel even more happy, or does it make any difference when it goes beyond so many?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if there'd be a certain point where it's like, what if, okay, would you feel better if 7 million people read your book or 8 million? Then like, I guess after a while it wouldn't make much of a difference.
The only difference it makes is your income.
Yeah.
And with income, you can write even more without looking for other type of work.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I wasn't really thinking of income. I mean, that's great. That income is also a difference, but that's not really what I was even thinking. It was more so just that it's kind of like putting my mind into other people's minds. Um, I'm not sure why I like that. Maybe it's just some inherent human trait that there's some reason I don't even know that I have it for.
Um, you will soon discover that as you move forward on this journey that we started not too long ago. Okay, so so now is a good time to look at writing under a new light, because we accidentally ran into it through the leadership video.
Yeah.
So writing gives you the power of leadership, and writing gives you the power of income.
Hmm.
Do you know what power means?
In a sense, yeah.
What does power mean?
Being able to control is how I define it, but I'm not sure if that's the definition you're looking for.
Don't tell me what I'm looking for. Tell me what you
I'd
thought
say
of.
power is the ability to control by some means.
Power, that means influence and potential.
So, not fully control, but having an influence.
Potential, that means latent usefulness.
So, being able to affect something's usefulness.
Influence. Influence, that means affecting behavior. Power, that means influence and potential. Potential means hidden usefulness.
Yeah.
And influence means affecting behavior. So if you are powerful to me, then you must be affecting my behavior in such a way that the usefulness that I could express that I didn't even know would be influenced, would be changed.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're my teacher, and if you're a powerful teacher, then my potential, the hidden usefulness from my life would increase tremendously, even if I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See what you're saying. I guess, at least in my mind, power kind of has a negative connotation.
Most of these concepts have no negative or positive implication.
Yeah, I can see that. Because, like you said, just affecting something's potential. You could, by that same, like you just said, a teacher, that would affect something's potential for the better, but you could also use it to affect to make someone have less potential.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
So, do you begin to see the power of writing?
Yeah.
How do you see the power of writing differently now compared to an hour ago?
Well, we think in language, and the way you define language can affect the way you think, and it could hold you back or move you forward.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so what do you think of writing as a means to make a living?
I hope I can pull it off one day.
Okay. What do you think about the hardcore departments as a way to organize your business of the self?
Okay, let me try to remember them. So it's health, and then it skips A, and then it's
Relations.
yeah, relations.
And then dreams,
career, and retirement. Yeah. Yeah, they seem to fit. I guess you could. I mean, it might be hard to fit certain things into one or the other, especially when you get really specific. But they seem to be pretty good for just defining the general human experience, like sorting it out rather. Yeah.
Where would you put writing?
Writing. Dreams.
And career.
Yeah, it could go in both.
And relations.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah. So 3 out of the 5.
At least.
At least. Well, I don't think I'd die if I stopped writing. Probably be pretty upset though, so I guess that could be health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There you go.
I wouldn't just fall apart. Like my arm wouldn't fall off if I stopped writing. Up here. And well, if I was a writer for myself and not for a company, I don't think I'd retire. Unless I actually lived to be so old that I physically couldn't write. So, yeah. If that happens, then retirement too.
Okay, so what do you think of writing as you brought up hardcore?
I still have to. My life is definitely more organized than it was, say, this time last year. But I still have a way to go, and I'm still working on myself.
Okay. So, we did the second item on your list, which was
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to do the first item on your list.
What was that again?
What is love?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've been wanting to know this.
Okay. So let me reset the video to.
Were you recording what just happened, or you recording?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay. So start asking questions.
Huh. So when you say love is an action, would it be an expression, or what kind of action would it be?
Love, that means the nurturing of ideals. And there are 4 elements of love. Respect, that means no interference.
Yeah.
Acceptance, that means no rejecting. Tolerance, that means no opposing. Care, that means meeting needs. If you want to love someone, then you have to discharge all 4 elements of love at once. And if you want to love that person 1 week, then you have to do so 7 days. Do you mind elaborating your reaction so viewers can understand what went through your mind when you reacted that way?
I mean, I'll just be blunt. That sounds kind of hard. But
now you see why Belgium, one of the most advanced societies on earth, has the highest divorce rate of 70%.
That's a lot.
Yes, sir. Because it's very difficult to love someone, according to Thumoslang. By the way, that's the first time ever do we have a definition of love.
Isn't there a whole song about that?
I'm sorry?
Isn't there a song about that?
A song about love is not a definition of
No,
love.
no. What is love?
Sure.
Yeah.
There are 1,000 songs about what is love.
Yeah.
But everyone can only describe what it is. No one ever had a definition of love before 2017.
That's when you thought of it.
Not by myself.
Oh, and
Mark Kenny, yes.
Let's see.
Who loves you?
I have a lot of really close friends.
Who loves you right now? Meaning, in the last few months. Who has been loving you in the last few months?
Should I name names?
Fictitious name.
So I come up with a fake name for
Yes.
someone who. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, well, I know a lot. Well, if I it'll take a second because I came up with a fake name, but then I know someone else who actually has that name. So Deborah. Let's just go with that.
Okay, Deborah. You believe that Deborah loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Convince me using Thumoslang.
There's mutual care, mutual respect, mutual tolerance.
Wait a minute. Respect.
Yes.
Does Deborah knows what you truly want to become?
I probably not as in depth as I've gone into it in these
Okay.
videos,
So,
but she has a pretty good idea.
okay. So on the surface, what do you truly want to become?
It's simple. I want to be a writer who publishes stories.
Okay. Mm, so what did she do to avoid interfering with your writing?
I don't think it was.
In order to express respect.
I don't think it was an active lack of interference. Just not interfering. It's. I mean, when I usually write, I'm alone somewhere, and sometimes we'll sit down and I'll just tell her about a story idea I had. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about interesting ideas, and maybe she'll be like, "Oh, maybe it would be cool if this happened," and then, yeah. But
So she never interfere with your writing?
yeah, she never gets in the way.
Okay. And of course, she doesn't reject your writing or
No.
okay.
No.
What about care?
Okay. Um. Yes, I could. I mean,
What did she do to meet your needs in terms of writing?
in terms of writing, I don't have many needs in terms of writing. I just pencil, paper, and motivation is all I need, and an idea, of course.
Then how is she different from other people around you? They also do similar things.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that she is not that much different from other people around you?
No, I mean, there's more things to me than just writing.
Okay, so what else does she do that has to do with love that makes her different from other people who do not love you?
She validates me. I mean, it's like,
What does that mean?
I mean, as simple as it may sound, it's like humans and most creatures who are conscious to want to be around other creatures who, and basically, at its core, to be reminded that they exist.
Okay,
Yeah.
so one example, what did she do specifically to make you feel validated?
Well, I was just thinking about telling this story. I mean, I guess, okay, if anyone knows who I'm talking about, then it's okay because, yeah. So, she sews different kinds of outfits and stuff. It's a hobby. I think she sells them sometimes. Anyway, she sewed this one outfit that it's a sexual outfit, and she took a photo of it, of herself in it, to see how it looked, and what she accidentally did was she put it, well, her phone like rearranged her files and put it in a folder that she sent to her workplace. So her boss saw it, but she just deleted it, so it's fine. But yeah, she today actually just asked me for she said, well, my boss definitely saw it because it's deleted, but she didn't say anything about it. This happened a long time ago. So yeah, she asked me for advice, which I mean, makes my opinion feel important.
Okay, so you, in that case, were the one who met her needs, not the other way around. So
I mean,
so we were not talking. The question was whom you loved. The question is who loves you. So the meeting needs has to be your needs,
I know,
not her
but
needs.
like the fact that that question was asked of me, like to see what I thought, I consider that meeting one of my needs.
And what is that need?
Like, well, I don't want to say respected because I'm not. I don't mean by not interfering, but like, I guess I mean it's weird that I'm using these terms in this conversation, but it made me feel wanted, which is something that's a good feeling.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I guess it was like I met her needs and she met mine at the same time.
Yes, yes. Okay. Um, okay. So, who do you love?
Hmm. There's a lot of really close friends I have who
Again, pick one.
one.
Name.
Okay. Huh. Okay, I guess I'll go with um hmm, Michael.
Okay. So, what did you do that can prove that you love Michael?
Huh.
The question is about the past. What was the one or the two things that you did?
I'm trying to remember how this began. So Michael has had a long struggle with depression. Um I think I talked about this. When was it? Tuesday. Well, they don't know it's Tuesday, but I forgot which video it was. I think it was when I watched the last Thumoslang video, episode 6. I think that's when it was. So I mentioned how it was I might be saying the wrong video, but I mentioned how I saw it as a problem that a lot of people um, tend to look at themselves on sort of an objective judgment that doesn't really exist, which makes them feel worse about themselves. So, well, I think that what they should instead do is think about what kind of person they want to be, and instead judge themselves based on those subjective grounds. So, I talked to him for, well, I guess it wasn't actually this long because it was over messages, not in person. I tried talking to him for about an hour, and he I can't fix this with one conversation. So in the end, he did end up feeling somewhat better. So that helped a lot.
That is only uh,
Yeah.
one activity.
Yeah.
One activity does not prove that you love that person. Let's say that you did the same thing to some random stranger.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you love that person. So, uh, uh, so how is that different from you expressing your random kindness and help someone for one day randomly? Do you see where I'm going
Yeah. I
with
see what
this?
you're saying.
Yes. So your argument is not convincing that you love Michael
I know.
any more than any other human being.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've been expressing it inadequately, at least with some people.
What do you mean?
I've been expressing love inadequately, like incorrectly.
Why do you jump to that conclusion?
I'm just realizing that I don't meet all those four things with most people who I'd say I love.
So you believe in what I stated?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
By the way, we don't have any scientific proof that
I-
Thumoslang stuff
I-
is correct. Okay.
yeah, I understand that.
Thank you.
It's kind of hard to judge a philosophy scientifically, but I guess it's possible. Yeah. I mean, I kept thinking, like, when I walk home from here, like, I think to myself, like, how come I didn't be like, how do you know that's true? And it's just because it just makes sense, you know. Like, when you analyze, like, what do people who love each other do? It's like, yeah, they respect each other. They don't interfere with what they're trying to do. They tolerate each other. They don't reject each other. And
Yes.
yeah, all these things just that they just make sense. They fall right into place with what I already believe. Just adds more
What
meaning
is the
to the
result of love?
result of love. Huh.
How do you know that when you walk, you execute three elements of walk: pull, shift, and drop your legs. And you know that you have the right result of walking when you see that your body is at a different location. Same thing with the act of love. The result of love has to be so visible in order for you to jump to the conclusion that yes, the four elements of love have been discharged fully correct.
Well, there's a feeling that I attributed to love, which I guess since I wasn't discharging all these things, maybe was wrong. But
So how do you feel when someone loves you? Could you remember, could you recall the experience of someone loving you over a period of time like 1 week, 1 month, and how did you feel as the result of all of that? Could you characterize that in few words without
okay,
a long essay?
yeah, let me see. Um, when it's mutual.
No,
Oh,
not necessarily mutual.
well, in that case,
Respect is not mutual. Respect is a one-way street. Not
yeah,
therefore love is one way.
yeah.
You can love one another, but the act of loving is from one subject to the target of love.
Huh.
It's not automatically two ways.
Well, I think it'd be easier. I mean, I get no, because that's not what you asked. I was going to say I think it'd be easier to express how I feel, but yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel
Oh.
when someone else loves
No,
you?
no. I meant I think it'd be easier to explain how I feel when I love someone else.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. I mean, would that be acceptable?
We're talking about the result of love.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about the target of love,
So when someone
not the actor, not the subject.
think about this. I don't think I can use many complicated words to describe it. It's sort of a feeling of satisfaction.
How about freedom?
How so?
If Michael loves you then the result should be that you feel free from him.
I'd say for me, it's kind of the other way around. I feel as though I'm obliged to maintain it.
Then you did not receive love. Because when people make you feel obligated, that is not freedom.
Well, I'm not sure how much of it came from him and how much of it came from me.
Doesn't matter. If someone loves you, the only way that you can prove scientifically using Thumoslang definition is that you have to feel free. Because if I don't interfere and I don't reject and I don't oppose, and yet I meet your physical and emotional needs, you should feel 100% free from me.
I mean,
But if you feel obligated or you feel like you owe me something, then I fail to discharge those 4 elements of love in full.
I mean, in some sense, it's also, I mean, when I feel obligated to owe someone something for it, that's definitely part of it too. But in another sense, when I'm around that person, it's kind of like,
Let me give you an example.
oh,
Many parents make their children feel like they're obligated to take care of them when they are in need.
yeah.
That is not love by Thumoslang definition. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And therefore, many children, and this is a fact of life, many children do not feel free from their parents.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an example of what I mean by freedom as the result of love or not.
What would freedom look like?
You don't feel obligated. If I did all the things I did, and the result is that you feel like you owe me something, then I fail to love, according to Thumoslang definition.
What if someone always feels like that?
Then it's not as the result of what I do. I'm talking about the question is, do you feel more obligated after I love you? Before I love you, you feel obligated. That's fine. If that's the way you are, that's fine. But the question is, after I do all the things I need to do to carry out the act of loving you, the question is, did I make you feel less free from me? According to Thumoslang, if you don't feel free from me, then I fail to execute the 4 elements of love.
I guess I'm getting my own idea of love convoluted with your idea. Because for me, I always thought of it as like, if someone would be willing to put that much effort into just me, I'd almost feel bad if I didn't do anything in return.
That is because you've been influenced by the wrong kind of philosophy. Society programmed you to think like that wrongly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You know why?
How come?
Because people are selfish.
I know that.
Parents are selfish.
Yeah.
For 1,000 years, parents use children as their insurance in life, right? That's
Yeah.
why you give birth to a dozen children, so that if half of them die, then the other half can help with
Yeah.
the land. I mean, this is historical facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, society program us to feel not free
Mm-hmm.
from our family,
Mm-hmm.
for example.
Yeah.
But okay, what do you think of Thumoslang now?
I mean, I like how it expands into so many, maybe even every facet of life. It's like the Bible. It has an answer for everything.
What's the difference?
The ideas, the answer.
Thumoslang and the Bible, now that you mention it.
Well, they don't have all the same answers. I mean, a lot of the Bible says.
Do you follow the Bible? Do you use the Bible?
I'm not religious.
Oh, then why do you bring up the Bible?
Oh, well, it's just commonly regarded by most people, since I believe Christians are still a majority in this country, as like the Word of God and therefore the truth, which is why
But why do you bring it up when we're talking about Thumoslang? Why do you compare the two?
both claim to be an answer for how to live your life.
That's not true.
No.
Thumoslang is not the answer. Thumoslang is only a nomenclature. It does not tell you what to do with your life.
I guess there's a lot of things I inferred from the definitions which made me view it that way.
That is the difference between Thumoslang and other philosophies.
Yeah. What I like about this is that it doesn't tell you to do anything.
It only tells you what you are saying. Right?
Yeah.
It only makes you understand what you're saying better. Okay, so what do you think of the answer from your question, what is love in Thumoslang?
I need to think about this more and apply it better too.
What is your first or initial impression or initial reaction to the answer?
I need to learn to love people better.
Elaborate.
I haven't been meeting all the criteria.